Welcome to Tactical Talk. This is Zain. Today the topic of our show is the evolution of Pakistan and Turkey relations. Today the guest of our show is Kyle Inan, who is a senior geopolitical and also political analyst based in DC. He's worked with many international think tanks. Welcome to our show, Kyle. This is Zain Khan. It is a pleasure having you on Tactical Talk.
Likewise, Zain. Thank you very much for having me.
Kyle, I want to get to the first question. You're a geopolitical analyst. You worked with think tanks. What's your personal observation regarding Pakistan and Turkey relations?
I understand. I don't want to look at this merely from a religious perspective, but Turkey and Pakistan have been sharing common ties deeply rooted in rich values, whether it be, getting support in 1973 when the Cyprus invasion was going on. And whenever Pakistan needed help, especially supporting the UN, in passing some of the resolutions, Turkey and Pakistan have always held hands together in that regard. So it's nothing to be underestimated, if I can make myself clearly.
Kyle, since you've just mentioned the Cyprus issue, what is Pakistan's stance regarding the Turkish Northern Cyprus issue?
Sure. So it was 20th of July 1973 where the Turkish Cyprus military incursion had begun, and then none of the countries were supporting Turkey in that effort, Zain. And Pakistan was, I think one of the few countries that actually recognized the independence of the northern Turkish Cyprus and supported Turkey in that regard based on international law. So I can clearly state that Turkey never forgot that effort.
Let's get to a very important question. In the recent visit of Turkish President Erdogan to Pakistan, Erdogan stated that Turkey would like to become part of CPEC if they had more information on the project. How do you see the prospect of Turkey joining the China-Pakistan economic corridor?
Both countries are very business-minded countries, Zain. So what happened initially was Turkey wanted to sell a number of attack helicopters to Pakistan, but then got cut off by the U.S. administration because of not following certain requirements. But Pakistan is still open, as far as if my memory serves well, that willing to bargain with China in buying some of the helicopters that were crucial to Pakistan's defensive capabilities. So I don't think that's going to be a major issue. I think Turkey and Pakistan will always find a way to work that business deal out.
Kyle, let's talk about the present. Right now, Turkey is at war in some Syrian regions, right now in Idlib. Though Pakistan and Turkey, the two partners, they share a similar framework, a regional framework. Do you think that they have the same vision for the Middle East, especially on Idlib? How do you see this current scenario?
Idlib, yeah. Let me just start off by saying, since the beginning of the Syrian civil war, Pakistan has actually adopted a more neutral policy, specifically stating that it does not support any effort that is willing to topple the Bashar Assad government. Now, things have took a rough turn, and Pakistan now realizes that supporting Turkey is actually a better option, because Syria has walked into what we should call, especially in Idlib parts of the country, the regime took a rough turn, and now Turkey is wanting to eliminate some of the fractions in the Idlib region, and this is the reason that Pakistan actually want to support Turkey in that effort, Zain.
Okay, can Turkey be the flag carrier in helping the Pakistan International Airlines to recover both domestic and international business lines? I mean, how do you see this happening between the two countries?
Absolutely. Well, Turkish Airlines and Pakistan International Airlines historically tried to do a code-sharing agreement. A code-sharing agreement is something simple as you buy a flight ticket, you go up to the gate, and you see the logo, the brand of a different aircraft. And with that in mind, Pakistan International Airlines could actually do a lot more in flying off to Far East Asia, because that's where much of the demand was coming from, at least before the coronavirus. Now, we just have to wait. The PIA needs to wait until things are a little settled with the virus, and then I think Turkish Airlines and the PIA must sit down again and negotiate what they could do together.
Kyle, let's get to the last question. Ankara helped Islamabad escape the FATF blacklist. How do you see this recent development?
Okay, that's a very good question, Zain. Actually, I think Pakistan covers 5 out of the 27 requirements that the FATF wants. And Turkey is supporting Pakistan in that effort because of the current stance of the bilateral relations. And Pakistan is willing to improve its economic situation, because against the backdrop of the FATF, Pakistan's economy is not going to be in good shape. So Turkey, with the support that it's receiving, whether it be Syria, whether it be in defense cooperation or cultural ties, Turkey is willing to help Pakistan in helping the FATF lower its status on Pakistan.
Thank you so much, Kyle Inan, for being on Tactical Talk. It was a pleasure having you.
My pleasure as well, Zain. Thank you so much.
This was Kyle Inan, a senior geopolitical and also political commentator. He's worked with different international think tanks. We were discussing the evolution of Pakistan and Turkey relations. Until the next episode of Tactical Talk, this is Zain Khan. Take care and goodbye.